Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It's Dan Talks United. So it's a big weekend ahead after that disappointing, embarrassing loss against Everton. So we've got Crystal Palace at their place. So loads to go through. So please stay tuned. So we've got the Everton loss recap. We've got Amorim's presser. I'm going to go into the tactics board as well, just to cover how I feel we should have played against Everton to give ourselves a chance. We've got a little bit of transfer news. We've got what I believe we should be expecting from Palace and how they're going to set up. And then to finish off, predictions. So please stay tuned for all of those. So let's get into it. We'll just do a really quick recap on the 1-0 defeat to Everton at home against 10 men. So painful and embarrassing defeat against Everton. Don't want to labour the point. Talked about it in previous videos. However, if you look at stats, it looks like we dominated possession, but we did nothing with that domination of possession. As I said in the other video, it was just putrid. We were still playing our game, doing the 3-4-3. Unfortunately, Everton, or fortunately for them, Everton set up in their sort of rigid sort of 4-4-2 defensive shape, and just sort of sat back and waited for an opportunity. They got the opportunity through Dewsbury Hall. Fortuitous goal to a certain extent, because I still feel that Le Mans should have saved that. But yeah, we just had really slow ball progression through midfield, which seems to be a usual aspect of our team at the minute, with Casemiro and Bruno. Now, it's either that or they're popping it off very quickly, but it's aimlessly. Press wasn't very good. Don't feel that they worked very hard off the ball. I felt Everton were finding space easily. They looked like they had the extra man, and as we know, they didn't. And just the final third, decision-making from us just was poor. I said before that it looked like we could have played another 90 minutes and they still wouldn't have scored. So what I want to do now is just get into a really simple tactical breakdown of what I feel Amorim should have done with his substitutions and with the formation, especially when Everton went down to 10 men. Right, for speed, guys, got the tactics board out, but I've put people in position. So in terms of substitutions, I would have taken Xerxes off, probably kept Mazraoui on, taken Dorgu off, for example. So not a massive change in terms of personnel per se, but just a bit of a change to the tactics, or to the formation, should I say. So instead of doing the rigid 3-4-3, I'd have just gone to a traditional back four initially. Kept Casemiro there, brought Meno on, put Bruno as a number 10 because he knows how to play that and that's his best position. Put Mbumo up front because if he gets a chance, he's decent in that area, or really good in that area. Mount out wide left, Ahmad wide right, or you could swap them. That's fine. And then I'd put Shaw left back, and I brought Martinez on, put him at centre back alongside with De Ligt, and then kept Mazraoui where he is. And I think people would have been a bit more comfortable, but also in terms of attacking threat, you could get Mount pushing on wide, Ahmad pushing on wide, Bruno operating in that space, you could get Meno giving a bit of support as well. Because we're playing against 10 men, don't forget that, we could have Shaw bombing on, and we could have Mazraoui bombing on as well, and then just have Casemiro doing the traditional pivot in midfield, and then Martinez using his ball control his passing abilities. He can pass between the lines really well, and at times he could join the attack as well. But obviously we're just coming back from injury, but definitely could have utilised his passing accuracy between the lines and setting things up and setting play going forward, because that's where we've been struggling anyway. So that's just my simple breakdown of what I feel we could have done differently against Everton. Let's cover the presser. So there's, as you know, there's normally two parts to the press conference. So I've watched the first part. There wasn't a whole lot being said. Journalists in the room, again, talking about the formation, also talking about the formation that Crystal Palace are utilising, which is, we keep saying it's similar, but it's a 3-4-3, but it's the setup is different. So generally speaking, I think Amorim was sort of trying to take on the blame for the loss against Everton. I think he's bemused, as we all are, how we've lost against 10 men, especially at home. From a fitness perspective and who's going to be available, so Cunha, who missed the Everton game, looks like he's going to miss the Palace game as well. I believe it's concussion. Something's happened in training. So obviously there's a protocol. I believe that you have to rest or be out for 10 days. So he can't play against Palace, but hopefully should be back for the next game after that. Maguire still out, still needs a bit of time to recover. Similar with Sesko. So as we know, Sesko's out. And I think that's pretty much it in regards to fitness. I think everybody else should be there, and it's just those few players that are recovering. Big shame as well, actually, with Maguire, because I think he'd be in the squad, really. He'd be back at the team, potentially, as well. We have missed him. I never thought I'd say that, but we have missed him. So, on Palace, he was pushed a little bit in regards to what he thinks about Palace. Yes, he was complimentary about Glasner. How could he not be? Glasner has done a good job. Pressed him on the 3-4-3 situation and how it's played, and whether it's similar to his system. And obviously, Amorim said it's a different way that he plays the 3-4-3, and they just have to work out a plan to stop it. So that's going to be interesting. So pretty much it there. Obviously on transfers from the coach's perspective, I'm sure he's going to want still going down that proven line. Looks like we've brought in some new scout data guy that's going to be working with Vavell. Let's see if that makes a difference. As always, when we get a new person in, staff-wise, they're going to say that he's responsible for this and that. So obviously he's worked at Brighton, so he's going to get all the accolades for the more recent players that they've bought. However, it's always a team effort, so you can never put it down to one person anyway. So that was pretty much it for the presser. So just move on to a little bit of transfer news, not much. So as we know, we're still heavily linked with Baleba. Now you guys need to put your comments in below whether you still want Baleba. I've asked this question before. He hasn't played well this season since the speculation. So do we still want him, Reds? I don't know. Anderson as well is another one that we strongly link to. I've seen some loose links that he might be on Man City's radar, but why would he not be? He's had a good season. He's in the England squad. City probably do need a central midfielder now, with Rodri looking like he's injury prone now. Wharton's always on that list, but I'm not so sure that he's going to leave Palace, to be honest. And if Palace do finish well in the league, he might want to stay anyway. And then there's some more relatively loose links for me. There's still João Gomez that's on the list. Apparently, there's been conflicting reports with that. A bit of a not a fight, but a bit of conflict between Romano and Ornstein on that one. So I think Romano's saying that he would love to come to Manchester United. Manchester United are probably interested. And then you've got Ornstein that's saying it's probably wide off the mark, that. So let's see. Edison, Atalanta, that always seems to be on the list as well, but I've not really seen much of that recently, and whether that's something that's going to come to fruition. But lastly, on the transfers, I feel that we do definitely need 2 central midfielders to push us on. So let's see. Now, I don't think we're going to get anything. We may get one in January, but I think that's going to be an absolute push. I think we're going to struggle to get Gallagher because I think Atletico Madrid will want some money of some sort, and they'll want some assurances that we'll sign him in the summer, and I just don't think we should go down that line. So that completes the transfer news. So really quickly then on what we should be expecting from Palace. So as we're saying, Palace lost in the Europa Conference League Thursday. Don't think we should read too much into that. I think what we're sort of hoping is that they haven't travelled well and they've got a bit of fatigue from that game and also a loss. So we're hoping that that's a bit of a bonus for us. But again, we've just got to go and play our game. So what to expect then? Not watched much of Palace, but as last season, Glasner's done a good job. He's won a cup or two, sets them up really well, very disciplined. Their system's ingrained in every player. You thought that they were going to lose a bit of ground after losing Eze to Arsenal, and obviously prior to that, Elise, and it looks like that all their best players have been bought, but they still come back. They still are there. They're still playing well. So obviously they're going to set up in their 3-4-3 system. Very similar to us in terms of wing backs, going to be high, looking for space, playing the ball between the lines, that sort of thing. I think they do press very well. They've got good midfielders there, headed up there by Wharton, who's had a good season and definitely last season had a good season. So they will be pinging the ball in to their front men. Sarr has played really well and is a tricky wide man. Pino, I've not seen much of him, but I believe he's been playing well. And obviously the big man up front, Mateta, always a handful, always dangerous, got a goal or two in him. So he's another one to watch out for. But yeah, in terms of the setup, it's going to be very similar, but then they set up in probably a better way than us, and it's definitely a way that's working for them. And they are up there when it comes to big chances, creating chances. I do feel that there's times where they've probably missed quite a few big chances, but they're creating them and they are dangerous. So that's what we've got to look out for. Now, I have seen some narrow wins that they've had as well, and they do seem to be able to close teams out, especially if they go in front. So that's another thing that we need to think about, because I think we've always done better when we've scored first. So can we do that? Right, the point that we've all been waiting for, predictions. And I also want to see your predictions as well, so please put your predictions in the comments. Tricky one this, because always very difficult when you've lost the last game and trying to predict what we're going to do. Always trying to be positive, but it's very difficult. I have to be honest here and say I'm not expecting us to beat Palace. And for that reason, one of those where I'm toying between a draw and a loss. But no, I'm actually going to say that we're going to lose. Now, I know it's not great. I know it's not positive, but I just think that it's going to be 2-1 to Palace. Not the score I'd like to see, obviously, and I'll be as happy as anybody if it's not that score and we actually win. But going to Palace are on form in the league. Palace are 5th in the league as well. And like I said, they've performed very well so far. So I'm going to go 2-1 Palace, especially the fact that I don't think we've won there for about 5 years now. So I'm going 2-1, as I was saying. Right. As always, thank you for watching Dan Talks United. Please put your comments in below. Please tell me what you think the score's going to be. Please tell me if you've got any opposing views about how I've explained how I think we should have set up against Everton once Everton had gone down to 10 men. So as always, please subscribe, please like, please share, and I'll see you on the next one.